I am honored to attend today the opening of the plenary assembly, the plenary meeting of the 63rd reunion of the Parliamentary Assembly of NATO. I am glad to say that this is the third time when in Bucharest we host an annual meeting of the Parliamentary Assembly. Therefore, a real tradition of Romania takes shape. The Parliamentary Assembly of NATO is a unique forum by the role it plays in strengthening the transatlantic relationships and in promoting the values and principles that create the foundation of the alliance. I would like to salute the presence in Romania of the General Secretary of NATO, Mr. Jens Stoltenberg. His attending of this meeting confirms the close relationship between the NATO Parliamentary Assembly that has always been a valuable dialogue partner and the decisional structures of the allies, even more important within the current international security framework. Ladies and gentlemen, this plenary sitting happens in an important moment for the alliance, in which the process of adapting NATO to a security context characterized by numerous and diverse challenges is in full swing. Therefore, following the aggression against the Ukraine in 2014 and the major security concerns that this has triggered, the alliance started an ample process of adapting to the new circumstances. Thus, NATO took substantial measures in consolidating its position of defense and discouraging new attacks, as well as developing its role in projecting stability beyond the Allied borders. In the worsening of the European security climate, this process continued in 2016 and 2017 with a number of historic decisions concerning the strengthening of the eastern flank of the alliance and taking on board a more visible role as regards the challenges on the southern flank. The process of implementing these decisions goes on, and the national parliaments have a structural role in the member states' respect of the commitments taken, including the allocation of necessary resources for defense. In this sense, I would like to welcome the all-inclusive, all-encompassing discussions that took place these last few days in Bucharest. The topics in the agenda of this session reflect the priorities of all the members of the alliance, and the conclusions drawn and the recommendations that were worded are an important contribution to the allied discussions in preparing the NATO summit in 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, Romania will continue to be a responsible ally and a trustworthy dialogue partner, just as it demonstrated so far. We have become a relevant contributor to guaranteeing security in the region, in the Euro-Atlantic space and internationally. So, we have allocated 2% of our GDP for defense starting this year, 2017, for at least 10 years, starting from the agreement that I proposed as President of Romania and the Supreme Council of Defense of the country at the beginning of my mandate, an agreement between all political parties. Of this percentage, the funds meant for purchasing major military equipment in 2017 reach almost 40%. The national efforts in this sense were materialized by the approval in the month of August by the Supreme Council of Defense of the country of a plan of endowing the Romanian army for the timeline 2017-26, after in May the Parliament of Romania approved the initiation of the procedures for 8 major programs of endowment or equipment. Also, Romania took on board the implementation of all the targets of capabilities agreed upon within the alliance. Equally, we take part to the measures of strengthening the Allied presence on the eastern flank, both in the Black Sea area and in Poland. As you fully know, Romania has taken on board the role of framework nation for the multinational brigade on its territory that I am going to visit today together with Mr. Stoltenberg, the General Secretary. Romania also launched the initiative called the Combined Joint Enhanced Training in order to allow the allies to train their troops in exercises in all 3 components, air, maritime and land. We have a significant contribution to the operations and missions of the allies, especially the Resolute Support Mission in Afghanistan and in KFOR. Thus, in Afghanistan, we are the 4th contributor in terms of forces deployed and the 2nd contributor from the perspective of the forces for special operations. We provide direct assistance and aid to the partner countries both on the eastern neighborhood and in the southern for the southern neighbors. We also take part in the efforts of the international coalition against ISIS. Romania directly supports the decisions to increase the NATO role in combating terrorism. All these contributions are an investment in our own security and are a proof of our firm commitment to ensuring the sustainable peace internationally. The NATO summit of next year will be a new important stage in strengthening the alliance measures in order to enforce the security in Europe. And now I will talk to you about Romania's perspective in order to reach this goal, this target. I can say, therefore, that this is the moment of the strengthening of the partnerships. First of all, the transatlantic partnership, then the partnerships amongst ourselves, the member states of the alliance, by continuing the efforts to strengthen the collective defense and the domestic resilience in when faced with the diversity of threats that we are challenged by. And these are completed by the external partnerships with the interested states that want to cooperate with the alliance in order to maintain peace and security and develop their own defense capacities. And last but not least, the NATO partnership with the European Union. The transatlantic partnership between North America and Europe continues to be an essential dimension of our common security. Inside NATO, a solid transatlantic link is the very driver of the Allied security, which is essentially connected to the efficient implementation of Article 5 of the Washington Treaty. The meetings I had this year with President Trump were extremely important because they reconfirmed the United States' commitment for the security of our region, including Romania's security and the collective defense. His commitment to the collective defense. We need to continue strengthening this vital relationship, both by finding together solutions to various problems of security, the current problems, as well by fair sharing of the responsibilities, which means increasing the investments in the field of defense. Secondly, our partnerships, the partnerships amongst ourselves, the members of the alliance, need to be stronger than ever. The decisions to strengthen the collective defense, including placing NATO forces on the territory of the Eastern allies within the forward presence, are telling proofs of the solidarity and unity of the allies. We need to continue our efforts to consolidate the defense and deterring this role of the alliance. We also need to continue increasing the efficiency and coherence of the alliance. The forward presence on the eastern flank needs to be strengthened, in the south as well, around the Black Sea, at all levels. Also, the current differences between the measures adopted for the northern flank and the southern flank need to go away, giving shape to a single advanced presence, a robust, persistent and predictable presence. Internally, these measures, having a strictly defensive character, doubled by actions of strengthening the resilience, especially the protection of the infrastructure, the civil infrastructure when faced with hybrid aggressions, cyber and IT aggressions. Our purpose is peace, not war. NATO does not look for a confrontation and is not a threat for Russia, just as the alliance demonstrated in Warsaw.
But in what the relationship with Russia is concerned, we need a comprehensive and coherent allied strategy on the long term. It has to include the dialogue, but from a strong position of defense and discouragement. The third point is the fact that the strengthening of an ample network of partnerships with the alliance of all the states which see in NATO a cooperation partner is needed in order to develop their own capacities of defense of each partner from the resilience facing the threats with which they are confronted to those hybrid terrorist ones. Romania will continue to support this effort actively. And last but not least, the strengthening of the partnership of NATO with the European Union is a priority. Therefore, I salute the efforts of the NATO Secretary General in this direction, and I assure him of our full support, Romania's full support. I said that before and I'm going to say that again. Even if the Union is not going to make relevant steps in order to develop the dimension of the defense, to which Romania wants to participate from the beginning, these steps have to be taken with the alliance, complementing the alliance's activity, and in our vision, there is no way that the issue of choosing between the European Union and NATO is on table. These are complementary and not alternative options if we want to have a sustainable safety degree on the long run. Ladies and gentlemen, more than ever, nowadays, we need the alliance to be continuously strengthened. Romania, as a responsible ally, will do its best in order to achieve this. I encourage you, ladies and gentlemen MPs, to support this effort in the parliaments that you represent. NATO is not a strong alliance only through the collective defense measures, but also through its values. If these values are well defended, this is the most valuable contribution to our safety. Thank you.